Sometimes countries create these amazing travel agreements to bring people closer, right? To make it easier for us to visit, explore, and connect. But what happens when that open door doesn't just close, but slams shut practically overnight? Well, that's exactly what happened between India and Iran, and we're going to break down exactly why. So it all boils down to this one big question. This really great travel perk for Indian passport holders just, poof, vanished. So why? And let me tell you, the answer isn't some simple diplomatic issue. No, this story has a much, much darker side, one that involves sophisticated criminal networks. All right, let's get right to the core fact that kicked this whole thing off. Iran officially pulled the plug on its visa waiver program for anyone holding an Indian passport. Just like that, the days of visa-free entry were over. And the speed of this was just, wow. I mean, look at this. The announcement comes out on November 17th, and only 5 days later, on the 22nd, the new rule is already in effect. A 5-day window tells you that whatever was going on, it was considered incredibly urgent and incredibly serious. To really understand what went wrong here, we have to look at what this policy was supposed to be versus what it tragically turned into. So let's start with the promise, the original idea behind this whole visa waiver thing. The idea itself was really simple and honestly pretty great. It meant Indian tourists could pop over to Iran for up to 15 days, no visa needed. The whole point was to boost tourism, encourage cultural exchange. It was meant to be a straightforward way to build bridges between people. And the rules, they couldn't have been clearer. On one side, what's allowed? Simple tourism. A short trip, 15 days max, and you could do it once every 6 months. But it's this forbidden column that's absolutely crucial. You could not use this to go look for a job, and you definitely, absolutely could not use Iran as a stepping stone to get to another country. And right there, that's where the whole system started to break down. So, the big question is, how on earth did a positive, well-intentioned policy for tourists get so twisted that it had to be shut down completely? Well, this is where we get into the really grim part of the story, how criminals found a weakness and exploited it. Yeah, the reason wasn't some political disagreement or small misunderstanding, it was this. The visa-free system was being systematically abused by organized human trafficking networks. They saw a loophole and man, they drove a truck right through it. So, how'd they do it? It all started with a very powerful lure. These traffickers would flood social media with these incredible-looking job offers, promising huge salaries, a new life. They'd promise people a safe, easy back channel into Europe, and the key to it all, they said, was Iran's easy, visa-free route. No hassle, no paperwork, just an easy first step. And their playbook? It was just brutally effective. Step 1, lure you in with the dream job. Step 2, get you into Iran, completely legally using that visa-free system. But the second you land, the trap springs. Step 3, they take your passport, and suddenly you have no identity, no money, no freedom. And the final, sickening step, they call your family back home and demand a ransom. And this is a devastating human cost. For the victims, that promise of a better life instantly became an absolute nightmare. We're talking kidnapping, trafficking, being held illegally against their will, all while their families are being extorted for money they probably don't have. This wasn't just misusing a system. This was the complete destruction of people's lives. Okay, so in response to this absolute crisis, the system had to change, and it had to change fast. The Indian government had to step in with brand new rules and some very, very serious warnings for all its citizens. The situation is critical when a government's official advice boils down to just 2 words: remain vigilant. Think about that. That's not just advice. It's a desperate plea from India's Ministry of External Affairs warning its people just how real this danger is. And the government got very specific with its warnings. They said, look, be incredibly suspicious of any agent offering you visa-free travel or jobs through Iran. And under no circumstances should you ever travel for work using a tourist pass. And of course, if any offer seems even a little bit too good to be true, you need to report it right away. So, what's the bottom line for travelers today? It's really simple. For tourism, what used to be visa-free now requires a visa, plain and simple. You got to get it in advance. And for transiting through the country, which was sometimes possible without a visa, now you need one. That open door, it's now firmly closed and locked. Now, a change like this doesn't just affect tourists planning a vacation. Oh no, this sends huge ripples across the world of diplomacy, security, and international migration policy. This one incident is a case study with much, much bigger implications.
For diplomats, this whole situation is the ultimate balancing act. I mean, how do you encourage those positive people-to-people connections that come from open travel while at the same time protecting your citizens and your borders from being exploited by criminals? It's a constant and really difficult challenge.
And this whole thing serves as a really stark lesson for any country out there thinking about more open visa policies. The message is loud and clear. Any freedom you grant can, and probably will, be reversed the second it gets hijacked by criminal groups. At the end of the day, security has to win out.
And finally, let's talk about the security fallout. This crisis has put a massive, glaring spotlight on these human trafficking networks. Taking down these criminal organizations that operate all across West Asia isn't just a goal anymore. It's now a critical, top-tier security priority for the entire region.
And that leaves all of us right here with this fundamental and kind of heavy question: openness versus security. When a policy that was designed to build bridges gets exploited to build traps for innocent people, what is the right response? It really forces you to ask, is there such a thing as a perfect balance, or will one always have to be sacrificed for the other? It's a question that, for now, really has no easy answer.